Ba-do, 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 da-dee, da-dee.
Happy end of 2023, everybody.
Yay!
So today we're doing a top 5 pens that we have purchased this year. Plus there's going to be one sort of honorable mention.
What the heck was that intro?
That was you doing fun things.
I'm just goofing off.
You're a goof.
But
anyway.
yeah, pen stuff.
So there's nothing here yet now. So we're going to just go through some pens, sort of talk about, you know, not the top 5 of all time, but the top 5 purchased from this year. And these are
Some
new.
of them might actually overlap with your all-time.
That is true.
There
this
is
is really
one-
boring, I realize right now.
There is one pen here that I think might be in my top 5 pens.
Okay. So the first one I bought last year, we'll say it was in January. And I usually like to get a January pen to start the year off. And it was this one. Do you know what this is? This is an...
I remember seeing it, and personally, I'm not actually the biggest fan of it.
You don't like it? Why not?
The shape and design.
It's a Zeppelin.
And
you're like, what's a Zeppelin?
No, I know what a Zeppelin is.
Anyway, this is
But
the Diplomat Arrow. It's the
not
black
my
and white.
thing.
It's the black and silver stripe. I believe it has a medium nib on it. It's a stainless steel nib. Joe, they supposedly they must have somebody. They have somebody who tunes these pens, these nibs specifically for this brand, and it's one of the nicest writers I find personally. Yes. Well, look right here. Anyway, it's so this is the Diplomat Arrow, right? And I should have made sure I had ink in all these. And I have a Arrow medium nib. And it's a stainless steel nib. Now, there's always that debate, which do people prefer, which are better, stainless steel, gold. I think it's almost become sort of slightly redundant in some ways because technology and alloys, stainless steel nibs are a lot better than older.
Okay, that feels really nice.
Yeah, like stainless steel nibs today are much better than, say, stainless steel nibs from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I'd even go, you know, and further back. So they're much nicer made. And this pen, I really love the style of it. I love the machining of it. It's just very precise. It's a cartridge filler.
I'm personally just not a huge fan of the design.
But what I like, listen to this. Listen.
That is very satisfying. And we have a cat.
That, right there. You could sit there when you're thinking, going, la, la, la. I love that sound.
Dad does rather often sit there going, la, la, la,
yeah.
as he does writing
Anyway,
stuff.
this is one of my nicest. I love this pen. Diplomat, stainless steel nibs, and you are in my way. Our new kitten.
Okay, I just need to show this off.
Oh, dear. Cat butt.
This is very chaotic.
We'll do a video about that.
This episode is chaotic,
yeah,
but
we'll do a video about that.
these are adorable.
Yeah. The second
One of Dad's Christmas present.
The second pen on my list is a vintage pen. I got this earlier in the year, and it's my first Mont Blanc, and it's a vintage Mont Blanc. It's from the late 60s, early 70s, and it's the 320. Now, this would be referred to at the time as an introductory Mont Blanc fountain pen. I don't think they do that anymore. Most modern Mont Blanc fountain pens are way beyond my interest in purchasing. They're just too expensive. If I didn't buy pens for like a year
Pricey
or
as
more,
all get out.
Yeah, if I didn't buy anything for like a couple of years, I would probably get one. But I don't really need one, right?
If you did buy anything for the rest of your life, you might actually...
Yeah, I should have tested that before. Anyway, it has a gold nib on it. I forgot that I needed to fill this up. And this is the type of videos we do around here. But it's a lovely pen. It's resin. It has an ink window.
We have a cat under
14 karat fine nib. This is an interesting pen in the fact that I got it from a Japanese seller on eBay. And I sort of think that the nib might have been aimed towards a Japanese market. It's very fine. And yes, it's a piston filler. Lovely pen. And if I had ink in it, I would have been able to show you that. And I'm not going to do that. The next pen,
As you can tell, we're very prepared and professional here on the PEI Pen channel.
Yeah. Anyway, the next pen is...
This is one that's on my top 5 of all time, probably.
And it is the Pelican M405. And
dang, it is good.
It is a beautiful little pen. And if you're into fountain pens, you collect fountain pens, you're probably wanting a Pelican. And
this one's one of my favorites.
You know, it's a classic.
Pelicans are great. I really like Pelicans.
Yeah. It's a plated gold nib. It's a gold nib.
The nib is beautiful.
I love the silver trim.
I love the detailing of, if we
you can get up there and close.
Go up.
You like the stripes.
Yeah, here. I'm gonna move this so that there's
we're a little busy there. But you get these beautiful stripes.
Yeah.
Now
let the light shine on that.
When I ordered this,
amazing.
Yeah. Recently they've changed the stripes a bit. This one here, the darker stripe, like the blue, and then you have the darker stripes. The darker stripes are actually translucent. You can see the ink inside. And now, for whatever reason, they've gone away from that. They're opaque. But I was lucky enough to get one with the original translucent stripe.
It is beautiful. If you're thinking of a Pelican and you want to get something nice, this is one that I would say is a good pick.
Now, Pelican, like with the gold nib, they start off at the 400 and they go up to 1000. There's also the Pelican 100 and 200 series, and you can put a gold nib on those. Actually, you can buy a replacement gold nib. If you had like a Pelican 100 or 200, whatever the numbers are, you can change the nibs, and that's kind of a neat idea. But Pelican is just one of the classic manufacturers of fountain pens, German, of course. So the nib is going to feel broader. So if you had a if you had a fine nib on a Pelican, it's going to feel like a Japanese broad or even double broad. It's going to be quite different. But I love the pen. It's a beautiful pen, and it's just a design classic. And the color, the camera doesn't do the pen justice, in my opinion.
It doesn't.
No.
It is personally one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime we've been thinking about doing a video of me going through my favorites.
We should do that. What your favorites are. Yeah.
That, if we do end up doing that video, spoiler alert, but that is probably one of my favorite pens that Dad has, just because of the detailing and color scheme. I just really love it.
You love it. I know. Now the next one is a company that I really don't understand. And this is a vintage pen. Sadly, I don't think it's made anymore by the company. And it's the Cross Solo. The Cross, yeah. Now this is a Cross design, the Solo, that I really like. I really like this pen. I love the design. It's a very classic looking pen. And what I have to say about this pen, at the time, and it was a very inexpensive pen, but they really nailed it, I think. Now, this pen is interesting, and it makes me kind of a little confused, maybe, wondering.
He does not like...
Okay, can you put him on the floor, or her on the floor, rather than jumping on? Okay. So what it is it has Japan written on the cap right there. So I'm thinking this Cross is actually, and I bought it from a Japanese seller. So I think this was a pen.
Custom made? Or?
Well, no, it was sold or manufactured for the Japanese market. So it's a little bit different.
So maybe it says Japanese because that's the type of nib style they have?
Well, the nib on this thing.
Because Japanese nibs are typically finer. They run a little finer. I assume that's because their characters in their literature have many different lines.
Yeah.
To make it compact, you have to have a rather fine pen.
Yeah.
But,
I would actually say that it's... I believe this, at the time of manufacture and retail, was being sold for like, under $40. It was not an expensive pen. And this one here with Japan written on the barrel, on the cap right here, this is actually one of the nicest writers I have. And it's a lovely looking pen. And I'm just deeply impressed with it.
I think Dad's a bit confused about
now somebody
brand because he is not a fan of their writing typically.
I'm not a big fan of Cross. I don't like their other designs. But now somebody, you know, the nib says Cross on it. But people have told me that they believe that the Pilot or Namiki manufactured the nibs for this pen in Japan. And if that's so, because it really does feel like a very nice Pilot nib. So I don't know what's going on. It's a mystery pen.
So
and I love it.
basically you think that whoever produced the nib is good at nibs and the rest of Cross nibs are not that great?
Well, no, the other nibs, like...
Produced by Cross? Or?
Yeah, the other nibs by Cross, like I've heard that Pelican made nibs for Cross, but I don't know. But this nib is as good as... It reminds me of a very nice gold Pilot nib. But when you go online and you're looking for information, it's really hard to get to, you know, find out precisely the history of this pen, especially for a Japanese market.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah. But anyway, it's one of the nicest writers I have. I got it very good price, and I just bought it on a whim, and I lucked out, and it's a beautiful pen. And I really do like the design. I think it's a beautiful design, and I'm going to have to try to find a few more of these examples of these over the next years or so, and see what they're like, and see what's going on, because it's really interesting. The next pen is this little vintage. I haven't done a video on this. It's a Japanese pocket pen by a sailor. And I was looking online, reading about the history of these pens, and Richard Binder has a whole article. He talks about a pen very similar with the same logo on it, but he only refers to the black model. He doesn't mention any with a silver cap. So I think that, you know, there's so many variations. So this is from the 60s, and it's a sailor pocket pen. I don't know the number. I don't know if there was a name to it. There were so many different models and colors. Pocket pen, it's absolutely wonderful. Like, it's in good condition. 14 karat gold nib. I have a cartridge in it right now. Sorry, I was dealing with a cat. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It's beautiful. So it's the sailor pocket pen, right?
Dad, around the end of the year, started to gain a obsession with pocket pens.
Yeah, I have gone down the rabbit hole.
He's gotten really into them recently.
Yeah, they're very interesting because I've seen a lot of,
expect to see more pocket pen content in 2024, everybody.
Expect to see more pocket pens.
Happy New Year's as well.
Yeah, because the interesting thing is, like, you get so many different nibs, and you get like 14 karat up to 22 karat gold nibs. You get steel nibs. You get nibs designed for different purposes. You get different colors, different caps, different finishes.
It's like absolutely crazy because it's like a whole fountain pen that fits in your pocket.
Yeah, so it has this big cap when it's capped, it's just a small little pen. And it's a beautiful pen. It's smooth writer. It has just a nice little bit of feedback. Really lovely pen. Okay, so these are the top 5. Now,
honorable mention.
I'm going to have one honorable mention. I'm going to toss it in. And I'm only tossing it in because it's the newest pen I got. And I got it for Christmas. I haven't done a video on it. I'll do a video of what I got for Christmas. And it was one that I asked for, actually.
Yes, Dad created like a list.
Because everybody was like, what do you want? And I said, I'll give you a list.
And then one day, me and Mom went down to the Bookmark, our local book and fountain pen supplies and all that jazz store. If you're ever in Charlottetown...
I don't think they do jazz.
If you're ever in Charlottetown, PE, then check out the Bookmark. genuinely amazing place.
Yeah.
But we just picked up some stuff from Dad's list, and that was his Christmas present.
So my honorable mention is this little inexpensive Diplomat Magnum. And
it's really pretty.
You know, it's like I would say it's one of it's a really lovely little pen. It has this amazing it's the Diplomat Magnum. And once again, whoever's tuning Diplomat's nibs or however they go about it is doing an excellent job. So it's a Yowo stainless steel nib once again. And
I like this a lot more than the Zeppelin thing.
Well, it is as good a writer in many ways.
I prefer its design.
You prefer the design? Yeah.
Much so.
Well,
I'm not a fan of the Zeppelin-looking one.
Okay. But this here, for an inexpensive pen, what, $25 in Canada. If you're looking to get somebody their first fountain pen as a gift, the Diplomat Magnum I would have to recommend. It's almost like a student pen. It has a little ink window here. This has a cartridge in it. Takes a standard international cartridge. Takes a standard international converter.
Good.
It's a lovely looking plastic, resin pen. Little metal clip. It has the logo right on the end, like that. It looks nice.
It looks good. It does the job.
And it has what I would say is almost like a soft nib to it. It has a bit of, it's not a flex nib. Don't get me wrong, but there is some life to this little nib. It gives you beautiful little line variations. So the quick, and it's very smooth. The quick brown fox jumps over. Now, it is like an you could give that to somebody as their first one. First fountain pen. Now, introductory fountain pens. You know, I always recommend the Platinum Preppy, which is like $7 or $8. The Lamy Safari, because there are so many unique colors and special editions, and it's a beautiful pen.
Look at that flex on it.
The TWSBI Go, the TWSBI Echo. None of them, I think, are as nice as this. Don't push it too far, Sam. Don't push it too far, or you'll spring it. Anyway.
That's a flexy nib.
Yeah, it's a flexy nib. I think you were pushing it a little bit there. But,
I was.
Yeah, don't do that.
I was curious.
You'll spring the nib.
I'm sorry.
But you do get that lovely... It's okay. But you do... It's not a flex nib, but... You get that lovely line variation, like on the downstroke
really nice.
And a cross stroke. You can see there's a variation going on there. It feels soft, feels smooth. For $25.
Excellent to scribble with.
It looks very nice. It has this sort of like a triangular grip, similar to, say, the Lamy Safari. Not as pronounced. It's a bit small, but I don't mind that. Really nice pen. Now, that's the honorable mention, right?
Yeah.
So honorable mention. If I had to pick from these pens here, which is...
I'm just guessing.
Oh, it's a hard one, isn't it? Which is my 2023 purchase of the year? What one do you think? What one do you like? You like the Pelican.
Although
the Pelican is a classic.
I would personally...
You would put that in there over that.
Switch that. Have this as an honorable mention. Because it's a unique pen, but I don't think it's as nice.
Okay.
Because it's unique. I respect it. It tried something different. I love that about it.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit...
So which of those is your favorite pen of the year?
Still that.
The Pelican M405? Yeah?
No competition.
No competition?
It is probably one of the nicest pens you own.
It is one of the classics that I own.
Like, that's a Grail pen.
Yes, it is a Grail pen.
Like, that is seriously a Grail pen. It is beautiful, in my opinion. Yeah. That's gotta be my favorite.
And you know what?
Hands down.
I agree with you. This here is my favorite pen of the year. The 405, the Pelican 405.
We'll link to the video.
With the fine, it has a fine nib.
If we look at the details, it like the clip. Here, let's move these so it focuses better.
Yeah, the classic
Pelican clip.
The logo,
which is designed to look like a pelican beak, and
beautiful resin.
The lovely design of the stripes.
It's a piston filler.
The fact that we managed to get one with the translucent stripes is just so lovely.
Yeah.
I love piston fillers. I think they're neat.
I'm going to also, you know what?
It's just good.
Coming almost neck and neck with it.
Don't say the Zeppelin pen.
If this is the pen of the year for me, the purchase that I've made this year.
This is the one.
And that's like an expensive pen. Neck and neck. And I wouldn't even be able to say which is really the better pen to write with. I have to go with the inexpensive AT Cross Solo.
Fair enough.
From Japan, because my gosh, this nib on this thing is amazing. It is a beautiful writer.
And that's
it's also when I look at it, like, you know, you could buy what? Like 10 of these pens for more than 10 of these pens for the same cost. It feels really well made. It doesn't feel inexpensive. Looks beautiful. And the nib on this thing is amazing. I don't know if that's true to all solos. I'll have to find out. But the Japanese solo, cross solo, is an amazing pen. If the nib is by Pilot, and I don't know if that's true or not because it doesn't say Pilot on it, but somebody has mentioned that they thought they were made by Pilot or another company. It's an excellent nib.
One thing that really personally kind of makes this one win, in my opinion, though, is like the fact that it's Pelican helps.
Yeah. Well, there is because
Pelican is like there is brand association with pens that is affects the amount of enjoyment you get. Yeah. Like, I know you're not the biggest fan of Cross, and this is like a superb understar. It's
underrated,
like
under the radar
story where a brand that Dad's not too fond of has one of his favorite pens.
And then they come out with something like that, and it's just like, wow.
Pelican, I think, is consistently good, and personally, I think, like,
well, Pelican,
the design, in my opinion, is also kind of similar to this one. And
it is.
Other pens in your collection, and I think that...
Well, that's a whole other story. So design inspiration.
Design inspiration, yes. But there's a level of, like...
You could even say this design. Those are similar in many ways.
So here's how I'd say it. This and this and that... This is kind of the lineup of inspiration, in my opinion. Like, this is pretty standard. I'd put this one there. This one's pretty similar, but it's a little more modern, I'd say. Yeah. This one's modern. It's modern inspired, but also inspired by some of the older stuff, in my opinion, from the looks of it. And then this one's just kind of general modern looking. This one takes a few unique turns. I love that.
All right. This is totally unique.
Has, there is one pen that is friggin' rainbow in your collection that's like...
But I didn't get it this year.
Batshit crazy. I would swear, but...
Don't do that. We don't. Anyway, so there you have it.
But my pen of the year. Crazy, but I love it. But this one is just... unique. I respect it. Bit too far.
But we both agree.
This is the best.
Yeah, and also, like, if you're into fountain pens and you're trying to put a collection together, eventually you do have to save up for a Pelican.
Pelicans are worth it.
Yeah.
I think Pelicans are one of the nicest things. And, like, say, Dad has a bit of Pelican memorabilia, for say. Like, okay, there's going to be the award podium. This is his Pelican pen holder, and it shows that...
Pelican has won.
Pelican has won because they are Pelican.
Right on.
They just make consistently good pens.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What was the pen that you bought in 2023
Give us
that you liked
the
the
name. Best? Maybe we'll check it out if we don't own it.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
Subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah. We very much appreciate it.
Hit the notification bell. Let me know in the comments what your favorite pen is.
Hope you have
for this year.
A lovely day or night, depending on the time.
What are you looking forward to in 2024? Yeah. What pen might you be thinking about purchasing?
We hope you enjoyed whatever holiday or break time you got.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Let's have a good 2024.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
We're going to do an ink video too, by the way.
Yes.
Don't worry. Not right now, but
bye.
Anyway, see you now. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.